Hi, and welcome to Accidental Thoughts. I'm Jason. That's Jimmy over there laughing his butt off.
Myself.
Yep. Welcome to another fun episode of Accidental Thoughts. So, what you got for us tonight, Jimmy?
Well, a whole lot. Sorry. Well,
Well,
I'll tell you, I had a
okay.
I had this deal today where I was sitting there thinking I was dealing with some stuff outside of work, and I was trying to figure it out, what was going on and everything. And the thing is that when you make a goal, a decision to go do something, you plan it. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this. 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 Okay. And then all it takes is one crazy monkey to mess it all up. And yeah, I know where you're going. But anyway,
Did he
but
fling his who at you? Did he?
he had amples, just way too much to count. Anyway, so the thing is that it just takes one thing to throw down. And then this one person decides, well, I don't know, this, that, another, after they've already been bought into it, or, they would decide they were going to do this. The thought run across my head about the fact of, how I guess more recently in our society where everything that we have has a name. If you have like what's the thing with your foot? If you get a sore in your plantar fasciitis or whatever it's called, or something like that, or if you have this, you could have fibromyalgia, or you could have there's all these names to all these things that happen. Okay, and they've come up with all these terms for all these things, but
Right.
couldn't find a name for when you try to narrow down those that are just almost purposely ignorant, or
We call
just
them supervisors or supervisors
yeah, they're
back in
well
the
bred.
construction industry.
And I was like, I just can't get my head around it. I mean, it's almost like, I don't know. There should be a term for it. There should be terms for people that, I mean, if we come up with all of this lingo for all these other things, I mean, I
Right.
read a deal a while ago about the werewolf disease, the person who grows way too much hair on their face and stuff like that. They call that werewolf disease. You might want to look into it. Just saying. Anyway, the thing is, it's just the fact they come up with all these names, and then why don't they just? I mean, even the societies that want to be recognized, the alphabet people and all these things, they get all these names. There's not a whole lot of people clamoring over names, to give to somebody that is just, basically a, you know, major league dumbass. I mean,
Well, no, like I said, in the construction industry, we used to call them stupid visors. You
supervisor.
know,
Yeah.
they
Well, I
had the
mean,
title of supervisor. They weren't bright. They were
right,
like a 40-watt bulb where 100 watts should be.
right. There was some light, just
Yeah,
wasn't very
it
bright.
was dim. It was dim, but it was there. Yeah,
It showed itself in the denseness of space. What is that way off in the distance? That's our supervisor. He knows
yeah.
exactly what we're doing.
Problem is, he
But I
doesn't
was
even know
sitting
what
there.
he's doing.
Exactly. That's why he's over in the dark. But the thing is,
Exactly.
well, wait a minute.
Flinging his spoon.
Oh, but the thing about it is, I mean, you think about it, you know, mushrooms,
Grow in the dark, and they're quite tasty. Sauteed
are we
butter and garlic.
mushrooms? Are we mushrooms? I mean, we get left in the
Wolfman,
dark.
remember?
That's a disease. That's just a disease. But,
Never said I was healthy for anyone there, Jimmy.
well, I mean, it's kind of like the fact that, yeah, I know this guy at least once a week, but sometimes twice a week, pours up a whole cup of nothing but diabetes. That's all he does. It's just a whole cup of diabetes. He knows better.
This
He
name for
knows
his
better.
cup of diabetes, Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka didn't live that long. I'm just saying, possibility,
No, in the movie, he was pretty old by the time they came and saw him.
I don't know how old. I mean, you saw the original. I'm not talking about these remakes they've done, but the original. To see Willie, Gene Wilder do a somersault out there and stand back up, it's like, okay, that's pretty acrobatic there for somebody. I don't think I could pull that off right now. There'd be a lot of gastral kind of, propulsion,
A lot of flatulence propelling you around.
Exactly. I don't know. Yeah, this is going to work out great. Wake up with road rash. Oh, where am I? I mean, but I was curious, because I mean, certain things like that. Off subject just for a second. How many carbs do you think's in that coffee that this guy?
It's probably more than what's in his monsters.
You think there's that? I think there's more.
Honestly, it's dark chocolate in that drink, so it's less sugar, more cocoa. So, just saying.
It just looks. It looks like a cup of death. I mean,
In case y'all are wondering, it's me he's talking about there. I have
what?
this thing, and I stop my wife
What?
some coffee twice a week. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I get this large ice mocha with the normal amount of coffee, the 2 shots or whatever, espresso, whatever they are. And I have them add chocolate to the bottom of the cup, swirl it around the cup, put it on the top, mix it in with the coffee because
Okay.
I don't like.
Here's the thing. I think you're lying. I think you add the chocolate first. If there's room for coffee, go ahead, give it a squirt.
That might be the way they look at it, but believe it or
'Cause
not, they're the
all
ones
I
that
hear
call it the
is
way we nicknamed
all
it.
I hear is this. Okay, all right, yeah. Put chocolate in the bottom. Okay. All right, now go all the way around the sides. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, now put a dash of coffee. Okay, now cover that all up so I don't see it. Okay, yeah, that's good. You know what? Do you have like a chocolate cup I could eat after I was done drinking this? That's what I see. That's what I hear when you order that drink.
Exactly. Enough
And I'm
chocolate
just
or
like,
bacon covers anything.
you drink enough of it, you drink that, you could be one of them crazy monkeys that makes the coffee somewhere else in the jungle. Oh, you
Hey,
want the
I do
you want
make
the tasty
I
coffee?
do make the tiles form after drinking that. We won't lie about that.
I'd hate to be the guy that got that cup of coffee. Take a big
Man,
sip. Oh, gosh, what is that? Oh, special brew.
special brew. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hmm. Yeah,
Unbelievable. It
whack-a-mole.
tastes a little like chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little nutty.
You know.
Anyway.
And moving on.
But
Um,
anyway,
your border patrol got shot at today, right?
no, I did not.
You hear about? Yeah.
No.
Border patrol apparently got shot at by some cartel trying to run some illegals across the border today. You'd think they'd know better with the current administration in office, but maybe we're waiting for them to touch our boats.
I guess they probably had that same idea where a lot of these, temporary insanity people here think, man, it's been a week. Why isn't the gas cheaper? Where's the change? What's going on? I mean, it's like,
why are eggs going up? Why are eggs high? Yeah,
like, you thought this was going to happen in a day or two.
they are looking for things to be outraged about. Bottom line.
Yep.
And it's stupid.
It's when they come up with things, like the deal with the border patrol. I mean, that was on the news probably. Because, as a matter of fact, I just pulled it up here on my screen and I can see it. Yeah, I could see that happened, But there's other things that I can see here, like the fact that they're already talking about possibly him running for a third term. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that theory. And I've heard the theory that, believe it or not, once everything's revealed, that we're going to see 2020 election overturned, and he will have served 3 terms.
Right.
And
There's
this
just
term
been
is over,
so many.
even though he could. Yeah, there's so many conspiracies
It's
going
been a
around
week,
now.
folks. It's been a week.
It's been
It's
1 week. Now,
Yeah.
on that note, the man has gotten to work. I mean, he has gotten business. We're already deporting. They found something like 85,000 of those missing children somewhere in that neighborhood. Like in less than a.
He's actually taken money, I think it was, from something. He stopped something and he sent the money to California and to North Carolina to assist in their, their rebuild process and stuff like that. And I was just like, and the other administration didn't even think of this, or what's the deal? I mean, I don't know.
Well, the other administration didn't care about you and I.
Yeah. But we made it somehow.
We did.
You know what's sad? That we're going to have to sit here and relate the fact that we started doing this during that administration.
Kind of sad.
Did we like stop doing it and start all over? Like,
right?
You know
Can we,
I mean? Like,
can we have a reboot?
Yeah, let's have a reboot. Accidental Thoughts 2, the sequel.
You're right.
Yeah, right.
That was scary.
Yeah. We'd have to do it up something really different, like, I'll have to get my hair permed or something. You'll have to shave your beard off, and then nobody will know who the hell we are.
That ain't happening for a while, dude. You know the rule about the beard right now.
You're caring for all of those creatures that are in hibernation right now, and it was too cold outside, and you're giving them a chance.
Something like that.
There are some very grateful chipmunks somewhere underneath. And he's not really taking a drink out of that cup. He is just watering the plants underneath the jacket. So
I'm feeding them. Feeding there. Listen.
The whole time you thought that this was echo or reverb. No, dude, it's all the crickets and everything going off in your beard.
Yeah, that's what it is. Gotta be. Gotta be the crickets.
It's conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. That's all there is to it.
It's a conspiracy, man.
Now, I have to tell you, though, we are not conspiracy theorists. We don't think outside that. But I find it very coincidental.
Well, we do think outside the box. But
you don't put me in a box.
You recognize that most of it's BS. If anything, we like laughing at a lot of conspiracies.
We laugh at each other. And if you can't laugh at yourself, give us a jingle. We'll help you out and we'll laugh at you for you.
There you go. But, no, yeah, I was just fixing to say, we laugh at ourselves all the time.
No.
I know every time I walk in one of them Home Depot bathrooms and look in the mirror when I'm washing up, it's like, who the frick is that ugly dude?
Problem is, I've been doing that for a long time now, and every time I walk by a mirror, it's like, that mirror's broke or something. I keep looking older every time I walk by it.
I used to look better than this. What the hell?
Yeah, I would have to say that. I don't know what happened.
Right.
Wheels fell off the bus. I don't know. But
don't know.
But the deal is there is a lot of, I guess you would call it, misinformation, I guess. But there's another presidency we don't need to go out. But the thing is, people get this, this conception that, well, it's been a week. Yep. Been a week. Hey, what do we got to show?
It should all be back to 1970s, no inflation.
Yeah.
Standard immediately.
Yeah. Break out the bell bond. Let's do this. I don't see that.
Exactly. No,
I don't see that.
No, I do see things heading that direction.
I just see people's mentality changed. It was like every time you were anywhere, it didn't matter where you were. It didn't matter if you were at work or you could be at a restaurant. And being at a restaurant, the hostess or somebody, they're going to be, they're supposed to be, like, hello, how are you today? You can even tell, like, welcome. Okay. Yeah.
Don't feel it too now, well, but now I see, I see people being more friendly. You're right.
Oh, yeah. It's like
they are definitely being
hope.
Relief or hope or something along them lines. Yes.
Yeah.
It is something.
And yeah. It's like we're going in a direction that we weren't before.
That didn't take much. Yeah. All it took was somebody actually doing something about things. Literally. Yeah. We've had we've had a president in office for 4 years that everything he did was America last. Let's face the fact. He didn't do anything to help the American people.
I didn't
However,
see it.
what did happen was now we have someone who is turning around and all that money, our money, our tax money that was being sent elsewhere is staying here. So in that respect, it's much better already.
Right.
And people, are losing their minds about it. You got people on the left. Oh, if you support these deportations, you're against human rights and this and that. Oh, shut up. Only reason you care about these illegal immigrants is you don't want to go out and pick the crop. You don't want to do the construction. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. You want to go get your Starbucks and be a lazy little spoiled rich rat. Bottom line is that's never the way America works.
But I mean, well, I understand. I mean, but even today, when you start thinking about the fact of, what direction we are going in, we have one. Before it's like, okay, the last 4 years or whatever you want to call it, before it was a sense of we didn't know where we were going to end up, meaning, we were worried about everything. It seemed like we were worried about everything. And now it's like, okay, we still think that. Where are we going? But it's like somebody basically, shook the dust off the roadmap and said, now do you see where we're going? Oh, okay. Because before we were blinded by it. We couldn't really see the destination. And we were being manipulated to think that what we were working towards before was supposedly going to be better. But the thing is, I mean, everybody's going to have their opinion about it, whether you were a, Democrat or a Republican. I mean, that's neither here or there. Everybody's going to have their opinion, and not everybody's going to have a great opinion about what he's doing. They're not. I mean, and everybody's going to think, he's, pompous ass. I mean, there's going to be those people that think that, but that's neither here or there.
Exactly.
I mean, that is just here.
Yep. I agree.
I
agree.
did.
I mean,
By the way, I didn't even reach my keyboard.
There's a reason that chat's backstage, bud.
Keyboard over here out of the way. And all of a sudden I see this. Oh, hey. Oh, okay. And I'm like, man, I don't want to. I did it.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, I've been kind of playing with the settings over here left and right.
Every now and then I hear something. I'm just waiting to sound like a cartoon character in a minute. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Right. Well, what I'm doing is, for those of you listening, we're actually chatting backstage a little bit behind the scenes here as we do this. We've had a couple of issues with echo and stuff, and we're kind of working out the kinks on that as we go. And we're fiddling with it as we can hear it in our headphones.
Fiddling.
Adjusting our monitor and our output to the recording so that we don't get that anymore. So there's going to be spots where we have it, and we're working on it. But bear with us. It will get better with time.
Yes. I can't guarantee
But back to the subject at hand. Again, we know people aren't going to like Trump. We know people aren't going to didn't like Biden. We know people aren't going to like the next president. The difference is...
You have an insider on that or something?
I do, actually. I have an insight. Considering you and I are not even, I'm registered independent. You're a registered Democrat of all things.
How dare you?
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Me.
No, he's not that kind of Democrat, folks. He is the old school Democrat who used to be for the people, not these crazy lefties
Democrat
that are out there now.
I haven't voted Democrat in a long time.
Exactly, because none of them have been the type of Democrat that you signed up to be.
Just because I saw a bus today that you could buy,
how long have we been out of high school?
Test drive over me. What the hell?
Exactly. No, nothing like that, man. No, it's basically what I was trying to say is some of our political ideologies are different to an extent, and but in spite of that, we get out and we touch grass. We get out and we meet somewhere in the middle, like it was intended to be. Nowadays, you've got these people, listening to the media on the left or listening to the media on the right, and nobody else can have a different opinion. And if you're that type of person, you're part of the problem. I'm not. You're not, Jimmy. So we
I think
tend
I'm
to
part
meet
of.
somewhere in the middle or just agree to disagree.
I
Not,
know I'm part of the
I
problem.
hate you, you're Hitler, you're Nazi, you're this, you're that. Yeah. And that sort of thing's just gotten way out of hand with everybody. See, even my birds agree.
Get it's on.
Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. One of them said, "You voted Kamala?" What? I don't know. That was the mama bird, the one that had the babies.
It is a
Kicking the
real
crap
bird.
out of one of her
You
kids for
need to
not
you need to
listening.
make sure mama bird doesn't mean your wife. It's a real bird.
No, it's real birds. They're parakeets. There's 5 of them in a cage about 20 feet from me.
I just want to see somebody go,
Yeah, well, that may be, but she's only crazy because she chose me. Yeah, she chose me. She must be crazy.
yep. I agree.
Nah, political ideology is fine.
Right.
Back to what we were saying, but political extremism isn't.
Right. I agree.
And that extremism includes anybody who flies an American flag nowadays is considered a right-wing cuckoo.
Well,
in fact, it's so much that you're considered so much right-wing by flying the
right.
American flag that a potential criminal will avoid robbing your house because they know you got pew-pews. Now, granted, if you're flying the flag, you are 50% more likely by the stats to have pew-pews and not afraid to use them. Just saying, there is some fact to back that up. But to then turn around and make it, because you fly an American flag, you're evil because you don't want gun control. Gun control, where I came from, means using both hands.
Exactly. Gun control means that I'm controlling it. It works just fine.
Exactly. That gun, I could go get my gun right now, set it on the desk in front of me. It's not going to reach out and shoot somebody.
Yeah.
It's
the only
the
harm
actions
can
of
be
an
the fact of
evil
whose hand
person.
it's in, and that's it.
Bingo.
And I mean, there should be.
That's gun debate in a nutshell.
Right. And I mean, I don't see a problem with anybody, of right mind, sound in mind, be able to have one. But at the same time, there needs to be qualifications for it. But I don't think there are some guns I don't think some people need to have. I would say that. There are some that's like, okay, you know what I mean? They're just,
This is where you and I disagree on gun control.
Right. I
The
mean, I
Second
don't see
Amendment,
the
in my
need for
mind,
a
is
rocket
very clear
launcher
that
or
anything
something
our
like that.
military has.
Yeah, I don't see the need for military equipment. No. Now, wanting it, totally different story.
There you go. And that's the
mean,
difference. If I want it, I should be able to get it if our military has it.
Yeah,
If
and
I
you go
have the
through the
money. I
proper
want a
channels.
$20
and
million fighter
that's
loaded
great.
down with weaponry, and I have the money to buy it. Granted, there may be some special checks. One, you have to have a pilot's license.
Right.
Two, you kind of, you've got a weapon of war there. So,
Right.
I understand a little bit more stringency on that, a little more background check, a little deeper, stuff like that. But 90% of our criminals who use guns never got the gun legally. Now, there is always that other 1% that does. And those usually are somebody who's just been pushed so far that they snap.
Right. But I still think in a nutshell, though, I mean, there's always going to be that person that has that, there's always going to be that one who differs from what other people think. And I mean, that's great. I mean, I don't think we all should share the same opinion about things, because if that was the case, we'd all be clamoring for the same thing all the time. Exactly.
We'd be drones.
Exactly. And the thing is that a lot of people, they want, this to happen, this to happen, this to happen, this to happen. And when you have an election for, somebody to represent our country and stuff like that, they're going to go with what they feel is best for the masses, not for every single one of us. And that's where it's like, okay, I guess that's just where, I guess that phrase, the lesser of two evils, you just basically say, okay, where do I feel I'm not so violated in this situation or whatever that I'm like,
True.
I'm going to go down this road.
I mean, it makes you wonder, even going back to the founding fathers, because if you know, George Washington did not want to be president of the United States. He was pretty much drafted for the position. He was a military man. He was a man who, led the armies. That's what he wanted to do. I want to lead the armies. I want to be the general. And that's it. And he got drafted to be the first American president. I think he, by all counts and purposes, did a great job. But then you had people along the lines, JFK. It would have been nice to see what JFK would have done, which brings in another subject. Soon under the current administration, the JFK files are going to be released. The MLK files, Martin Luther King's assassination files, are going to be released, and one other one. And I can't remember that one off my head now, but 3 different classified files of assassinations. I think it might have been more about the John Hinckley Reagan shooting. I don't know. But even Kash Patel, when interviewed about that, was saying that people are going to be disappointed. All these conspiracy theorists, going back to that, are going to be disappointed because truth is a lot blander than the conspiracy.
Because we've put
even
our
though
twist
it's going
on
to
the
show wrongdoing,
coulda, woulda, shoulda, might have deal on it. Yeah.
And it's going to show us things that we didn't know, but it's not going to be the things you think is kind of the way he put it. It's not what you think it is, but it's still bad. And the biggest thing I have to say to our listeners in this respect is that they just need to get out, love their neighbor, be a good person. It doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. That's up to you. But try to be Christ-like in your intentions, or whatever your deity that you worship says to treat others.
With that
because
being
there's
said, though,
none of them out there. If you study any of the major religions or even atheism, they all promote being a good person, not somebody who's going to go out and look at somebody because of the color of their skin, not somebody that you're going to look at to try and find fault in, but somebody you're going to love as a brother, love as a neighbor, and
but
look out.
I don't think that was Christ's intention when he went in the temple and flipped the tables. Because I got a neighbor that I do have, and I'd love to go over there and flip his tables and say, "This is Christ-like." I'm just saying, I don't agree with this.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. We do have to remind peaceful people that Christ-like behavior does not necessarily mean you're not willing to be violent. It just means you try other avenues first. Jesus had warned about,
if it wasn't for the avenue between me and my neighbor, I don't know what else I could try, but I'll just tell you this much. I was always raised with the idea of, you ain't got nothing nice to say.
Don't say
nothing at all. And I'm like,
exactly. And we all have that neighbor that we do that with. And with that, we're going to say bye, neighbors. Thanks for joining us.
I will not be that guy flipping your tables in your yard. Don't think that.
Nah, just know that. Unless you force me into that, I won't be that guy.
And then I will give you my full name.
Yep. And with that, we say thank you for joining us for another episode of Accidental Thoughts. I'm Jason.
I'm Jimmy. We'll see you next week, gang.
And that's us. We'll see you next week. Yep. Later.